Hello, everybody. My name is Rose. I'm a program manager with SHIP, here to talk to you more about family engagement programming that we offer. So I'm just going to jump right into our presentation. As I mentioned, my name is Rose Martinez. I live in Denver, Colorado. And I wanted to share a little bit about my background with you so that you know me better as we talk about the Equipando Padres program. I want to make sure everybody knows me and my background and kind of where you can lean on me as you're thinking about running this program for your chapter. So, I am a wife and a mother of three. I've been work before SHIP, I worked in the public education sector and also higher ed for over 15 years combined. And I've been specializing in the family engagement space for about the last 7 years, a little bit more than that. As you can see, here are some pictures of my family. The first one are my three kids. Two of them are young adults and college students. My youngest is going into his sophomore year of high school. Um, I put a couple of pictures of me and my husband in our caps and gowns because these were really important milestones in our family and kind of what set the trajectory for me to be working in family engagement and to be here right now talking to you about Equipando Padres. So you can see me when I graduated. That's my college graduation picture. My son was Felix was 5, my daughter Juliana was 3 at the time. And so my journey as a first generation college student was jam-packed full of all kinds of obstacles and barriers that I had to overcome. And I learned so much through my experience that I really love to share that with other people. Um, when I started college at 18, which is a typical college student, by the time I graduated college, 7 years later, I had two kids. I had been married and divorced within that time. Now you'll see my husband, Antonio. He's an immigrant from Mexico. He grew up there most of his life. He didn't have an opportunity to go to school much past the age of his mid-teens. So when he came to the United States, after we got married, you can see our youngest there. He was at his dad's graduation from an intensive English program at the university level. So for him to go to school at that level and then graduate really shaped, like I said, the trajectory of my career. So, anyways, that's what brings me here today to talk to you all about Equipando Padres. So, more about the program. Today, we had a very warm welcome. Hopefully, you feel like you're getting to know me. We're going to go over Equipando Padres as an overview. We'll talk a bit about program resources, the expectations that we have for ourselves and for our chapters. We'll discuss next steps, and then I'll let you know how to ask some more questions if you have them. So, the mission of the Equipando Padres program is to provide the parents of first generation to college Hispanic students the knowledge and tools to better support their children earning engineering degrees. So, we strive to increase their college knowledge, increase the parents' self-confidence, and to build familial engagement. How do we do this? Well, we have set three major goals for this program. It's important to us to incorporate cultural aspects that are critical to our Hispanic culture. We want to make sure we're addressing specific challenges of engineering degrees, since we know they're a lot different than others. And the third goal is to position families to be integral contributors to their students' success. So we really want to see that change from them just from parents just sitting back and listening to what an admissions or college counselor may have to say to really leaning in and asking their own questions and making sure that they are really understanding how they can be supportive of their student and what their student will be going through in the transition from high school to college. So, Equipando Padres is an umbrella program, and underneath our umbrella, we have two programs. Equipando Padres Academy is our pre-college program. Equipando Padres University is geared more towards families of collegiate students. And today we're just talking about the academy, pre-college, the transition from high school to college. So as a chapter, if you are if you have applied and are selected to run Equipando Padres through your own chapter, you can see the program components here. These are the 5 different modules that we have developed over the years that will be available to you that you can provide. Facilitate these different modules in your local communities. We also have a whole bunch of resources that we will share with you and some tools that will help you have a very successful event. So I won't read through all of that, but you can see there's quite a bit of support that we'll be giving to you guys. So here's a question. We ask, why in a box? Why do we call it Equipando Padres in a box? Well, this picture is actually from our pilot program from a few years ago, where we started the program in person. It went virtual for a while, and we know how important it is for parents to connect with local communities, um, get to know people that live near them that are going through similar experiences. So it's really important for us to make sure that this program stays on the ground, so to speak. So the in a box component is literally us packaging up all the materials and making sure you guys can kind of unpack that box of tools, resources, and some even physical materials that will be sent to you. So the reason that we are doing Equipando Padres in a box and why we have the program set up this way is we want to help our chapters and members really maximize the use of the resources that we're able to provide. We want to make sure you guys have the flexibility to pair it with something like Noche de Ciencias. It doesn't have to be, it can be, Equipando Padres can be a standalone event if you want to, but having you all present the programming in your local communities gives you that flexibility to pair it with other ship events and other things that you have going on within the cadence of your outreach programs. It allows you to do what's right for your audience and really adapt whether your audience has, certain considerations in certain parts of the country. Like we want to be sure that you guys are able to really use the resources that we have and adapt them. Some things that are critical in knowing your own audience is the program location. Um, I can't tell you from Denver what's best to do in LA or Detroit or New York. I can probably tell you what's best to do here in Denver for program location, but we want to leave that up to you guys. We also want to help you think through the different partner organizations that you may want to work with, whether those are schools, churches, libraries, community centers, other nonprofits, other ship chapters. Um, we've seen a lot of success when the professional chapters and undergraduate chapters, for example, work together or already have junior chapters established and things like that. We also want to provide you the autonomy to be able to market in the way that makes the most sense to your communities, whether that's through schools or some other way. Um, However, we also want to make sure that we maintain the integrity of the program. This is why we want to make sure that chapters apply, that they get selected, that they understand the training aspects of the program and things of that nature, especially when we're talking about sensitive topics like application requirements and financial aid. It's really important to us that the integrity of the program is maintained and that we're following the research-based information that is provided to you through our Equipando Padres in a Box program. Just a reminder, be mindful of the impact goal. We do have a minimum goal of each event reaching a minimum of 40 parents. We've been seeing that number hit pretty consistently over the last a couple of years. Some events are well into the hundreds, which is great to see as well. We do expect for unused materials that we may send you, such as the physical guidebooks, to be returned at the end of the session if they're not used, just to make sure we're really using our resources well. And it is absolutely required for every single chapter that participates to complete the chapter impact report. This is not only so we can know how many people attended your event, but more importantly, it's for us to be able to share the data and different information that we collect in that report with current donors and future donors. It also helps us as we are sharing the full story of what SHIP is doing on the ground and how our members are able to get involved with different programs like this one. And just know that we are always here to help. We do not want to have chapters feeling isolated or like they just were selected for Equipando Padres and never hear from us again. So me and our team are very available. So please know that any question is um, definitely welcome. And we love to get new appointments on our calendar for members just to ask questions or touch base on something. So um, just know that you are not at this alone. So the next few slides are slides that I generally share with parents when they come to information sessions before joining an EP event. But you can see some of the benefits for families that we have been sharing that get parents more excited about this program. So I'll give you a second to read through that. And then I'm not going to read all of these slides, but I am going to give you a sneak peek into the 5 modules. I know I listed them earlier, but the modules that we have prepared for your chapter to choose from. Generally, chapters choose 2 or 3 modules to go through in a 3-hour event. So we'll talk more about that later once we get into the trainings. But one of the modules is called Why College and just talks about how college really sets up students for success in the STEM degrees and STEM fields. We talk about choosing a college. There's a lot of demystification in this module about types of colleges, public versus private, in-state, out-of-state, selectivity, things of that nature, and the importance of really exploring the culture of the campus. That leads directly into a deeper dive into preparing for college visits, why it's important for families to visit a college before signing on the dotted line to attend. This actually is the module that gets probably the most positive feedback in our feedback surveys from parents where they tell us that they've learned the most. Mostly, I think, because we don't talk about this as a society all that much. So it's a very interesting module. We talk about the application requirements in applying for college and how important it is to start these things early as middle school, in a lot of ways, and what to do if students are already sophomores, juniors, and seniors. We talk through the very, very high level of paying for college and share a lot of resources with families. We also do a lot of myth busting in this module as well, because we know there are a lot of misconceptions out there about financial aid. So we do our best to just bring parents to a level playing field on that one. This is also kind of an outreach slide for us to share the testimonials from past participants. So I'll let you read through those. And moving on, getting back into the details of as you're thinking about, is this right for my chapter? Um, as you're thinking about facilitating and recruitment of facilitators, having a panel like you see on this picture, we do encourage chapters to ensure that their hosts are able to lead in English and Spanish. You could do separate sessions. Some chapters choose to do bilingual sessions, but that's just something to really think about. All of our materials are provided in both languages. Um, if you have somebody who wants to lead a session, but they don't have much experience in public speaking, we can help with that. We can help give trainings and whatnot through our team. But it is for the smoothest process here, it would be important to find somebody that does have experience in public speaking if we don't have the time or if you all um would prefer that actually. Like I said, we are more than happy to help get people trained on public speaking. It's also important that the people who are leading and at least some, if not all people that are volunteering know a lot about STEM and engineering so that they can answer the questions that may come up from the audience. It's awesome to have professional members at these events, even if it's led by a student chapter. Not required, but it's always really cool for the parents to be able to meet professional engineers. And if you have anybody you know that fits this bill and they happen to also be a parent, then that's always a plus, but it's not required. And fluency in Spanish has been a major positive in our programming in the past. So if you're interested and you got to this far into the video, please scan the chapter interest form to let me know right now during CCLP that you are interested and your chapter would like to host in the fall. I put some key dates up here for you. I'm currently in the middle of organizing our summer semester sessions. But if you're interested in hosting in the fall and next spring, the application will be shared with everybody the week of July 6th. The application will close on July 27th, which is a Monday. It'll close at 8 a.m. August 3rd, chapters will be notified of their application status just in time for our President's Summit, where we will get to talk in more depth about Equipando Padres and obviously with the selected chapters and the chapters that are interested but maybe didn't get selected or didn't get a chance to apply this time around. We will have chapter trainings in the window between August 24th and September 3rd. And then the fall event window to actually host the events in your communities is a 10-week window starting September 8th, going through November 14th. I can have some flexibility around those dates if you have like your posadas or different events that you know you're going to have a really great turnout of parents. Let me know if you had a different date in mind, but this is in general the date that the event window that we will have. So that's the end of my presentation today. Thank you so much for listening in. Like I said, we love to get meetings on our calendars from members, so please stay in touch. The official email that we use for all things related to Equipando Padres is on the screen, padres@ship.org. I also have my cell phone number up here. I prefer WhatsApp for messages. It's easier for me to track, but you can always text or call me. I'm not sure I'll always be able to answer a call with that's unannounced, but happy to answer when I'm able to, and I'll always get back to your texts. So I hope y'all have a great night, and thank you for joining me today.